No, okay. Why am I a Pepega? What in where are my webcams? Where are my webcams? There they are. Ah, there it is, baby. Okay, one second. Now I gotta check something. Okay, there it is. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. It's gonna be more scuffed than I expected, but it's fine. We're here. Imagine things working. I literally was like, this is not gonna. I know I'm gonna fuck something up at some point, and it's like that's where it is. Welcome in everybody to the Game Awards picks and predictions for the day of December 7th, Game Awards. Super excited. I am joined today by three lovely human beings with me. We've got our good friend KoopoMog. Koopa, that's you.
Hi.
There. Hey, there we go. We've got
Hey, everybody.
LuminiousSkye.
Hi.
And we have Edward.
Hello, everyone.
Oh my God, Ed's first time on the stream. You love to see it. Guys, welcome in everybody. Koopo quiet. Well, let's give Koopo the good old juicy bump then, Sean. Listen, bump him. Okay, we're bumping. Our Discord has been fully bumped. Okay, listen, I full bumped them. I can only bump so high. So we'll make it work. We'll make this happen, guys. Game Awards is going to be on Thursday, December 7th, and there's a lot of things that are going to be happening. We're going to have some picks, some predictions. I think if I do things a certain way, it's gonna yuck up the the webcams again. So we're gonna play this as we can. There's 31 categories, and we're gonna be going through all of them. We're also gonna have a little bonus where we talk about all of our picks and predictions and what we think could possibly show up as a little teaser. So Koopo, where can friends find you, by the way?
You can find me on YouTube. It's youtube.com/KoopoMogTV.
Mhm.
You can find me on Twitch. It's just KoopoMog, or Instagram. It's just KoopoMog. And then TikTok as well.
Oh, okay, perfect. Sky, where can the people find you?
So before I do that, I just want everyone to know that when we all turned our cameras on, Ed was in a suit. And we were all like, no! And then Shadow had to compensate. So
Absolutely. I was just like, oh my God, he looks so good. I need to jump in on this.
anyways, I could be found at LuminiousSkye on Twitch. You are currently watching. I am all tagged on that. So, but also LuminiousSkye on Instagram. It is locked. If you want to follow, I'll let you in. And Twitter is LuminiousSkyeTTV. And I'd love to see you guys there.
Absolutely. Ed, do you have anything to shout out?
I'm just happy to be here, happy to be on cam, happy to be a part of the scene. You can follow me on nothing.
Okay. Ed's just here because Ed's great. He's a great friend, a great guy. So I love his opinions on gaming. So the stash, let's listen. Mustache Mountain over there is always a good ride. Moving on. Okay. So the first few categories, they're a little bit of a meme. I'm not going to lie. I can't say we're all too invested, but I said we were going to go through all of them. Well, I'm going to see if this even works. It didn't work. Okay, we're back. It's fine. That's a good meme. Okay, so the first category is Best Esports Event. So we have the 2023 League of Legends World Championships, Blast TV Paris Major, EVO 2023, the International Dota 2 Championships, and the Valorant Champions. Anybody can just jump in with their crack analysis of this one.
Neck and neck race,
Okay.
who
We're really
favorites.
passionate about this one.
Mm-hmm.
I think Evo. Well, I'm biased though. It's the only one I watched. But if we're being totally realistic, it's probably League because a bunch of really sweaty people are super into League, and they're probably just going to vote for it because that's what they do. So.
Evo was great last year. It was tons of fun to watch.
It was so much fun.
That's my vote,
good.
but I'm kind of, League is just sweeping the freaking nation. So, and it's still going strong. My roommate still plays it, loves it, even though it's like a toxic mess. So, probably
Of
give it
course.
to them.
I would also say Evo, but that's because I watch Evo every year. Not a whole bunch, but I love seeing the Street Fighter top 8, Tekken top 8, and then sometimes you get those random like you'll get like a Marvel versus Capcom tournament, and you're like, bro, I don't need this game. Has been so long, it's been gone, and then you just get something special, and they usually have cool announcements. So
Killer Instinct.
Oh, of course, bring it back, baby. Let's get something. I'm not even fighting game people. I'm like, you know what? Doesn't matter. It's always a good time, and it's fun to see some crazy stuff happen. So yeah, the Netflix show, love that for League, but everything else, I'm like, I'm gonna stay away from it. Okay, best esports coach. All right, I'm gonna try and say all their names properly. Christine Potter-Chi. We got Danny Zonic Sorensen. Jordan Gumba Graham. Remy XTQZZZ Quonium. And Yoon Hom Sung Young. I've never heard of any of these people. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to any of you.
It's Remy, hands down.
He's got a cool tag. He looks in this picture like he's, ready to just fight everyone to the death. So I can't say, sure, let's go for our main man, Remy.
If I had to pick somebody, no, it's women in gaming.
That's what I said too. Women.
Yeah.
It's Christine all the way.
It's Christine. It's Potter.
Yeah. There you know what? Yeah. This is a pick'em. Just fucking take somebody.
We should place like bets on these ones. Just
oh my
for,
god!
The lulz,
I'd be like,
it could be anyone's game.
That's literally everybody just takes a different person. Like, good luck. Good luck. Honestly.
$10. $10 on Christine.
Okay, best esports team. We have Evil Geniuses for Valorant. We have Fnatic for Valorant. We have Gaimin Gladiators for Dota 2. We got JD Gaming, League of Legends, and Team Vitality. Ed, I'll throw to you. Is Faker on JD Gaming?
Oh yeah, that's a really good question, and I wish I could provide you with the right answer on that one.
Okay, well, I'm going to assume maybe. Thoughts, co-hosts?
The only one I recognize is Team Vitality.
I honestly don't recognize any of them. So I don't care.
Okay. I promise we have some analysis on some of the games, but let me tell you, esports.
I'm very happy for them. Don't get me wrong.
Listen, all deserve to be nominated for something. They're making waves. They're making moves. They're doing things that, we don't know about. So, you gotta love it. But yeah, I don't.
The esports of all time.
It is the esports of the year, Yeah. Okay, perfect. Also, welcome in Amelia and Raiders. Appreciate you all. Best esports athlete. Oh God. Okay. First of all, I'm just gonna go out on a limb. They're not athletes. We're not athletes. We're fucking gamers. Okay. None of us are athletes. Whoa, I know.
Post in the comments for that, dude.
Listen, I know, right, guys? I'm sorry. We're not all athletes. Okay.
Unbelievable.
I know. Okay, but if you were an athlete, would you be Faker from League of Legends, Zywoo from CS:GO, Demon One from Valorant, Hydra from Call of Duty, Imperial Hal from Apex, or Ruler from League of Legends? Yo, perfect.
Faker, yeah.
Yeah, Faker.
I was gonna say the only one I recognize is Faker. Let's go.
Faker, Imperial Hal also does really cool Apex stuff. I've seen him stream a few times. He's pretty fucking cracked. So I would say of the two, probably Faker, but maybe Hal. I'll go on the dark horse Hal. Maybe he gets a pick here. So we're clearly just speeding through these ones. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Best.
I'm an expert on esports.
Oh, me too. Well, good news, Coop, folks. I'm gonna throw to you for best esports game of the year: Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, League of Legends, PUBG Mobile. What the fuck? And Valorant. Okay. First of all, one of these things does not belong here, and it's PUBG.
That was just paid for, right? It has to be.
How does that even work? Like, do they sit on their phones?
It's not even PUBG. It's PUBG Mobile. Like,
I know. I don't know how that works. I want to watch it. I'm curious.
Yes.
Okay, so based on the fun factor, so there are sometimes I get this wild hair and I just want to watch some type of esports game.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that I really, really like is Valorant. I actually really enjoy watching Valorant. So that's probably the vote that I would cast. because League of Legends hate it, Dota 2 hate it. I don't.
Whoa, controversial. Okay.
I know. Yeah, don't smite me, please.
Okay.
I just don't like all the clicking, and it's just weird. So I would go with Valorant.
Oh, fair enough.
So aren't Valorant and Counter-Strike kind of the same game?
It's the same idea.
It's the same game.
Yeah.
Valorant just has like abilities.
Oh, yeah.
It's basically
It's
like
Overwatch and Counter-Strike.
Yes,
makes
for sure.
Valorant. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get cooked too. Let's go Valorant.
Well, fuck it. Let's go about. You know what? I'm just gonna go PUBG Mobile for the memes. You know, the dark horse out of nowhere. PUBG Mobile.
Oh, dude, that would be hilarious.
I'd be a little depressed, but that would be like, I'll drink to that. Okay. Oh god. Okay. I think this is the last category of like stuff I don't know what I'm talking about.
Meme categories.
Content creator of the year. So we have.
I have a vote for this one.
Oh, perfect. So we have Iron Mouse, People Make Games, Quackity, Spreen, and Cypher PK. Sky, go ahead.
I actually really like Iron Mouse, like a lot. So, and I think she's gonna win. I think she's the leading content creator on this one in terms of like votes and like predictions. So I'm gonna go with Iron Mouse.
Okay.
Pretty confident in that.
I'm going to assume Iron Mouse is a full VTuber, correct?
Yeah, from looking at this picture, I am thinking that's a VTuber.
He's the VTuber of all time.
Okay. Okay. Perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think I've heard of Cypher PK, but like I don't watch any of these
I don't
content creators, so I have no idea who any of them really are personally. So I'll just say Cypher, because why not? I've heard of him. Ed, any thoughts?
I'll go with Iron Mouse too, because YouTubers are on the rise.
That is true. That is very true. Okay, all right. We finally got a category that we can discuss. Most anticipated game of 2023 that isn't Grand Theft Auto 6. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Hades 2, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Star Wars Outlaws, and Tekken 8. Ed, give it to me.
I'm gonna have to go with Final Fantasy Rebirth. You know, it's a big remake of a classic. Everyone loves it.
Okay, fair. Hey, this man, he's ready for it. I think we're all ready for it. Koopo?
Yeah. Yeah. Final Fantasy Rebirth. You know. I'm obsessed with Final Fantasy VII, and ever since Remake, I've been even more obsessed. So, yeah, Rebirth. Plus, I mean, have y'all seen the Sephiroth hair flip?
Oh,
It's like a shampoo commercial.
It was perfect.
every time. Absolutely. Sky?
I really love Final Fantasy, as you all know, but I gotta give it to Hades, dude. I cannot
Ooh,
wait.
okay.
Hades 2 is gonna be like huge for me. I'm so into that game. Like that's been my game of the year for sure. When it came out, I think it was during the pandemic. I'm pretty sure. But I like that was my channel for a little while. Like that's all I did. Like I became a Hades like expert. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan.
Absolutely.
Also, everyone's super hot in Hades, so like big fan.
Absolutely. They are. Yeah, for me, this is actually one of the toughest categories because everybody knows, but per my stream today, I am a very big Yakuza fan. And it's grown up to my second favorite franchise. It and Final Fantasy are basically neck and neck lately with how good they are for content and everything. So I think Rebirth gets the edge slightly, but lately, Like a Dragon series has been catching up. But shoutouts, like all these games are coming out like in what, like the first few months of next year. It's fucking wild. Next year is gonna be an insane year. So even Tekken 8 on here. I'm not a fighting game person, but I'm pretty excited. I'll be honest.
Content.
Exactly. So super excited.
I love Tekken. I freaking love Tekken. So
it's fun.
I don't like playing fighting games, but I love watching fighting
the
games.
Juggle. Oh my god, the juggle. Oh my god.
So I think all of these I'm pretty excited for. The only one that I'm really not excited for is Star Wars Outlaws. Not because I don't like Star Wars or anything. I really love Star Wars. It's just I don't trust Ubisoft with video games anymore.
That's totally fair.
Honestly, yeah, I'm not even against that whatsoever.
Yeah.
Valid.
Okay. Best adaptation. So we have Castlevania Nocturne, Gran Turismo, The Last of Us, the Super Mario Bros. Movie and Twisted Metal. Skye, you want to start us with this one?
Okay. So The Last of Us was good, and it made me cry on multiple occasions, which means I was emotionally invested. But I just love Castlevania. I just love it. And also, no one get mad at me, but I still haven't watched the Super Mario movie.
I haven't either, so
No.
That's fair.
Okay,
That's
good.
fair.
roast
That's
us
fair.
both. Roast us
Yeah.
both.
No, but Castlevania was like controversial because a lot of people didn't like this one as much as they liked, season 1 and 2, which were awesome. So good. This one had its like missteps, but like I'm a sucker for Castlevania. Like you can put the crappiest Castlevania adaptation out and I'll sit here and be like, yeah, it was good.
Okay, fair enough. Koopo?
Okay, so there's been about 5 games that have ever made me cry, and 2 of those have been The Last of Us 1 and The Last of Us 2. And I watched the TV show and I bawled like a baby again for like the 17th time that I've watched it. And I'm gonna give it to The Last of Us because it's just perfection. It's a perfect TV show.
Okay, Edward?
I'm gonna have to agree. The Last of Us, out of all of these, Super Mario Brothers movie, it was okay, but Last of Us definitely hit it deep down.
Right in the feels. I'm gonna give. I will agree. I think The Last of Us is gonna win, but I will say out of watching these, Twisted Metal was surprisingly the thing that gave me the most joy because of how stupid and like. It's hard to describe that show. I wasn't somebody who'd played Twisted Metal before. So I went in just with arms wide open, and I embraced it. The comedy and like the acting was cheesy, and Sweet Tooth was hilarious, and it was stupid, and I had a great time. However, The Last of Us was absolutely insane as well.
Did y'all play that back in the PlayStation days?
Twisted Metal?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good, right?
I will say I played it for the first time after watching the show. I decided to pick it up and it was on PlayStation and just wanted to give it a.
Right?
It was fun. It was really enjoyable. So I gave me a little bit more joy playing through it. But yeah, that one is going to be a little bit closer. But yeah, I could see The Last of Us just clapping the cheeks. Best multiplayer. So I've got some words about this for sure. Best multiplayer: Baldur's Gate 3, Diablo 4, Party Animals, Street Fighter 6, and Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I'll just go first. In terms of multiplayer, when I think of a multiplayer game, I do not think of Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I don't think of Diablo 4, and I don't think of Baldur's Gate. I don't think of Street Fighter 6 either, to be honest. Like most of these games, Street Fighter you play, it feels single player. You're going online, but you don't think of it like, oh, I'm going to play with my friends. Like when I think of a multiplayer game, I think of Party Animals. That is like a game you purposely get on with your friends to beat the hell out of each other. And as good as these other games were, I don't think in terms of a multiplayer game, like I don't know anybody who played like Diablo 4 multiplayer for the most part.
I'm itching to give my opinion on this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Listen, Street Fighter 6 is going to win this.
Okay.
It is. Yeah, because it's just, first of all, it's considered like a multiplayer competitive game. So people go on there and like hone their skills and polish it. It's not just something you turn on to like play with friends. It's something people actually play. Not to mention, from what I understand, the Street Fighter 6 net code is like really solid these days.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It is, and that's huge for a fighting game. So I do think it's going to get a lot of recognition for that. So
they did use rollback netcode, which is like
fantastic.
Yeah. So
I think it's really good. Like
okay.
It's really good.
This was really hard for me because Baldur's Gate is everything to me.
I didn't know. You know?
Yeah, I have done nothing but stream this game for like 2 months straight, and I love this game so much. But I also don't think of it as a multiplayer game. Yeah. And so I would give my vote to Street Fighter 6 as well, because even though I'm like not the best at fighting games, I had a ton of fun playing this, and not to mention like the net code was awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, no problems whatsoever. So yeah, that's what I would do.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, Ed.
So for me personally, out of all of them, I think Baldur's Gate 3 is the best when it comes to a small group of friends getting together and playing through a nice simulated world.
I mean, hey, you know what? Fair enough. I know a lot of people play single player, but that's kind of the joy of a lot of these games is it gives you the option. But listen, I respect all your opinions.
Okay, so a 3, 2, 1. All three of us should say our favorite Baldur's Gate character.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
I know one of them.
All right. Wait,
Okay.
are we basing it off hotness or are we basing it off
Favorite.
Whatever you want. Whatever you want.
Okay.
Okay. Count us down.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Shadowheart.
Azazel.
Karlak.
I want to let
I'm the only one that likes Azazel.
Yeah, did you say Lizelle? No way.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
no way.
I want to let you all know I have not played Baldur's Gate 3. So I know of a couple characters, and I kind of tuned in from time to time on people's streams, but I don't. I understand its greatness. I'm not a big D&D person. So before, just get your roasting in, just get it out of the way. It's just not for me personally.
Yeah.
Best sports racing game. Best sports or racing game. EA Sports FC 24, F1 23, Forza Motorsport, Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged, or the Crew Motorfest. Woo! A banger category for us.
This is a great list.
Yeah.
This is definitely a list. That's for sure.
It's the list of all time.
Okay, question. Have any of us played any of these games this year? Listen, we're going to be straight
There's
up.
no way.
I will say,
Yeah.
I played the last Crew game earlier this year. It was very fun. So if the new one is anything like the old one, I would probably really enjoy it. But if I had to pick something on here, Forza. I think probably Forza or Hot Wheels. I would say.
Hot Wheels.
I'm going full Hot Wheels.
Oh my god,
Wheels, bro.
fucking full send it, baby, every time. The chat wants to know that Ed, your stash is glorious, by the way.
It is glorious.
Yeah, it is.
Mm.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Abs.
And so does my mustache.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I honestly don't have an opinion on this, so Forza, sure.
That's fair. It's better to be honest with the people and be like, listen, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about in certain things, okay? Rather than being like, yeah, guys, I know everything about games. Like, no. And, coming into this next category, guys, I clearly know everything about best sim or strategy game because I play so many of those. We got Advance Wars 1 and 2, Reboot Camp, City Skylines 2, Company of Heroes 3, Fire Emblem Engage, or Pikmin 4. I've not played any of these either.
I played 2 of them.
Okay, well, Sky sounds like your category.
I played Pikmin 4 and Fire Emblem, and if I'm going to make a prediction, I'm going to say Pikmin 4 because it's Nintendo. That's really the only answer. And also, I mean, Fire Emblem is 2, but Fire Emblem was super, like, compared to Three
It's
Houses.
more niche.
This was
as
so
well.
crap. Like, it was so bad next to Three Houses. It's a downgrade for sure, but Pikmin 4 was solid.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I know City Skylines has a very big following as well. So, have I played it? No, I haven't played any of these, but I have watched a couple people play Pikmin 4, and it looked really, really fun. But yeah, the only reason that I would think any Pikmin 4 or Fire Emblem is because of the Nintendo fan base.
Yes.
It's big.
Also, knowing who votes specifically on certain games, like all like the different companies, it's just like, yeah, Nintendo always ranks highly among like gaming journalists as well, specifically. Ed, your thoughts?
So I played Advance Wars, Cities, and the Company of Heroes. But honestly, out of all of them, I really think Pikmin's gonna win just because it's Pikmin. It's been around for so long.
I mean,
It's that nostalgia factor. You know?
Exactly. City Skyline 2 had an awful launch too. So many bugs and issues.
which honestly hampers a lot, as we saw. I think it was the newest Star Wars game when it came out for PC. It was like broken. Like people could not play the game whatsoever. And I think that honestly is why it's, I think maybe nominated for one award or something. And it was a really good game overall, but yeah, I don't know. I would, of all these, I'd probably most likely to play Advance Wars, but that's, nostalgia from the Game Boy.
Company of Heroes 1 and 2 were fun, but I've never played 3, so.
Gotcha. Understandable. So we have Best Family Game. Disney Illusion Island, Party Animals, Pikmin 4, Sonic Superstars, and Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
I think this is a no-brainer, right?
I think we know what's gonna win.
Yeah.
Just per the category. Obviously, Wonder is nominated for Game of the Year. I don't think they would put it in this category to lose to anything else, unfortunately. However, I don't really know how you describe, like, what is a family game?
Yeah, like that's very vague, isn't it?
Yeah.
The only one that even screams family to me on this is Disney Illusions, because Disney, like,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Party Animals is actually kind of violent.
Yeah, you're just beating the hell out of me, people. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Which is fair. I really love it, but as a family game, it's like not so much. But it's like, is Pikmin 4 good for families? Like, I don't get what the criteria
It's
is.
not multiplayer, right?
It's really vague.
Like, Sonic Superstars, like, is that good family? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think
It's a weird category.
like, yeah, something like Mario Kart is like perfect for this sort of like category, I think, because it's like nice to just play split screen and stuff like that with families. But any objections? I think Wonder just crushes it.
Wonder's gonna sweep it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, Koopo. I think this one will be best suited for you because it's best fighting game. We have God of Rock. The face! I saw it! Mortal Kombat 1, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2, Pocket Bravery, and Street Fighter 6.
Well, I have opinions on 3 of these.
Hey, that's more than me, baby!
God of Rock, I have no idea what that is, and Pocket Bravery, again, I don't know what that is. But Mortal Kombat 1 was actually surprisingly good. Nintendo All-Star Brawl also, they added a bunch of voice lines. It's actually fully voice acted now.
Oh, nice.
Which is like really, really cool. They added some really awesome, memorable characters from Nickelodeon. Do I think it's going to win? No. I think it's going to be between Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter. And I think Mortal Kombat is going to win only because it has a bigger fan base. So I'm putting it on Mortal Kombat 1.
Okay, fair enough. Edward?
I honestly haven't played any of these, so if it comes down to it, I think Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 has a really good chance. I recognize some of those characters. Garfield, I know he loves lasagna.
Okay, perfect.
They added Azula from...
No way.
Yeah, Azula's
Hell yeah.
in.
I see Nigel Thornberry in the top left. That's pretty exciting.
Oh my god, perfect. You got Patrick, you got your SpongeBob, you got some Airbender, I see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played any of these either. So, Sky?
It's whichever one Maximilian Dude likes better.
Oh, fair.
Like, he's a
Okay.
streamer. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure
I
they're crazy. Yeah.
He said that I watch him every day, and he said Street Fighter 6 is better than Mortal Kombat 1.
That's
I
the
would
one I'm going
trust.
with
I
then.
like the
Because
No, go ahead.
his base is gonna vote, right? And I think they're gonna vote for what he wants, and I think it's gonna be Street Fighter if that is what he thinks. So
Absolutely. Yeah, I would say probably Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. I've seen more Street Fighter 6 stuff, but obviously I'm not a fighting game person, so I have no idea. I do like the idea of the meme lobbies in Street Fighter 6 though, with all the custom characters. I think that's really hilarious and
it's so good.
and really honest. I think it would give the edge for it's like the combat seem, they're both really great, but Street Fighter's got the meme appeal, and when it comes to meme appeal, that's I'm looking for
It's
it.
huge.
I think Street Fighter also, which it might edge out over Mortal Kombat. I'm still going to stick with Mortal Kombat, but because the accessibility, you could be somebody who doesn't know anything about fighting games and come in and immediately be good at them. Like, I've never played a fighting game in my life, and I got to gold rank in like a week.
It's like, hey, there you go.
Yeah, so like it's because they have it's like this new system where it like simplifies all of the attacks and stuff. I don't remember what it's called, but that might be. I mean, it gets rid of that barrier of entry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so more people might be onto that and vote for Street Fighter 6 because of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I'm looking into Tekken 8 as like one of the first fighting games I've played in years, just because the giant bear, the giant, the giant bear gives me joy. I'm like, listen, meme me up, okay? Oh god, I can already feel there's gonna be words about this. Best RPG: Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 16, Lies of P, Sea of Stars, and Starfield.
This is a disaster of a category.
Who wants to start? This is gonna be one of the long ones, I think.
Oh my god, who
This
did
one,
this?
yeah, this is the one that gave me like a crisis.
I looked at this and I was like, "The fuck is this
It's cursed.
category?"
It's so cursed.
Oh boy. Yeah, whoever wants to go
Who
first.
start?
Like,
I can go forever on this.
Ed. Okay,
Yeah,
Ed, go ahead.
Yeah, go.
Okay. So, as someone who was, willing to spend the money to play Starfield early before everyone else, not my choice of game. I think it's going to be Baldur's Gate 3, to be honest. Just because RPG overall, I mean, it's a D&D game. It's the most RPG you can get when it comes to RPGs, in my opinion.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Short and sweet. I love it.
Makes it easy.
Ed,
Yeah.
You guys know how I feel about Final Fantasy, but it's Baldur's Gate. It's Baldur's Gate. Like,
Mhm.
I love Final Fantasy 16. I had so much fun with it, and like replaying it, and I'm like, oh my god, the boss fights are so amazing, and I love this game. But like, overall, Baldur's Gate 3 is just a better game. It just is. So.
Sky.
2 games on this list are not like the others.
Mm-hmm.
Lies of P is not an RPG. It is not an RPG. And I wouldn't even, again, this is a controversial opinion, but I wouldn't even consider Final Fantasy 16
Thank you.
an RPG.
It's an action game.
It's an action game. It does not belong in this.
Action game category. It is not like the roleplay elements in Final Fantasy 16 are thin. It is not an RPG based off of those stats. Based off of those stats, you could throw Super Mario Wonder in here. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
You can throw anything in here.
Armored Core should be.
Yeah, Armored Core. Put Armored Core in there. Putting Lies of P in. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I do think it's going to be Baldur's Gate. Like, I think Baldur's Gate's going to sweep. Like, it's going to be a really boring Game Awards. Like, it's going to be Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate, just leave him up there in the corner because he's going to have to keep walking out. Like,
Yep.
it's going to be, but honestly, Lies of P is a ridiculous thing to put on this list. It doesn't even make sense to me.
Absolutely.
It's a great game, but it should be an action game.
It's an action game.
Yeah,
Like, there's not a single RPG element about that. Like, it's
Yeah, as somebody who obviously has like a great love for Final Fantasy, I looked at this and I was like, this is not an RPG by any stretch of the imagination. This is 100%, well, it's like 90% action. There's some like role playing, there's some stuff, but it's like, no, look at that, Lies of P. No, it is not, not an RPG. Honestly, I don't even think Starfield deserves to be on here, to be completely honest. It was like, of all of these, it was by far the most mid-game. Like, I look at that and I'm like, Sea of Stars is like so far ahead of Starfield as like an indie game. You're like, Jesus, like, I would just knock 3 of them off. I think Baldur's Gate easily wins this. It's not even close. And it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's gonna be pretty wild. Not that some of these other games aren't great, but just when you think of RPG, it's like you do not think of 16 or Lies of P, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it kind of.
I'm looking at the next category and I'm shaking my damn head.
Another really tough one.
Oh yes,
Another really dumb one.
It's a lot. A lot of these. Oh, there's so many little things. I think the Game Awards this year was kind of like some of the things. I'm like, who decided on the categories is what I want to know, because
I want to put them in a room and have a discussion.
Yeah, I'm like,
I want to talk about it.
Yes.
Can we say that at least can we all get on the same page that there should have been a category for remakes?
Yes. Okay. So before we get into that, I'm just going to say the next category is Best Action Adventure Game, and it's Alan Wake 2, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Hey, look what's not in here. 2 action adventure games.
Yes. And you're like, it's like,
could they just expand this a little bit instead of just 5? Could they make it like 7?
This was a stacked year for gaming. Whether you played everything or not, it's like every category had banger games for the most part. Like fighting games, fucking bangers. You got action games, bangers. Shooters actually kind of mid. overall this year. I think it was like kind of mid, but yeah. Koopo, go ahead.
So do you want what I think is gonna win or what I want
Both.
to win?
Give us both. I think that's more fun.
What I want to win is Resident Evil 4 because that's one of my favorite games of all time, and they really did a good job on the remake. They stayed true to the original, added a bunch of new mechanics and things like that. It was so good. I could not put it down. But what I think is gonna win is Legend of Zelda because let's be real. Name a bigger franchise. Name a bigger franchise. It's definitely gonna be Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay, I'm gonna go next because I will say Resident Evil 4 I loved, but I don't like the idea of a remake of a Game of the Year contender being eligible for any awards other than a remake category. Unfortunately, because
it's controversial.
In 10 years, when they remake, Breath of the Wild, and it's like, remastered, it's like, is that going to be eligible for awards? Because like, I would hate that. Because it's like, Resident Evil 4 was an amazing game. It was probably a top 5 game of the year for me. But when I look at remakes now, I look at something like Final Fantasy VII Remake, and they completely transformed what a remake of a game is. And when I look at Resident Evil 4, I'm like, this is an amazing remake of what it was. But when you put them side by side, you're like, it's the same overall experience. Whereas when you play a remake, it is like everything about it just feels different. So it's just how I perceive remakes, I guess, for going forward, was Final Fantasy set like the groundwork.
Change stuff,
yeah, like Dead Space remake. It's like, if you played the original and you play that, it's very similar. Well, obviously looks beautiful. The gameplay, though, is very similar, and it's not the same, if that makes sense. In any case, best action adventure game, I would say Spider-Man 2. For me personally, for me was the best action adventure game. I think Zelda's gonna win. I don't think anybody like Nintendo just wins these, especially with journalists, will win a lot of these.
So hard too. Every year.
Yeah, every year it's Nintendo, whatever it is, it usually wins.
Zelda beat out God of War,
which I did not like that at all.
Now, who here has played Breath of the Wild, and who here has played Tears of the Kingdom? You played both?
I played the first one. Okay. I didn't play the second one.
I've played both, and I can tell you they're the exact same game.
Ooh.
So if you want to talk about remakes, Resident Evil 4 has more content in it that's new than the Tears of the Kingdom does. I'm sorry, I'm not a fan. I did not like Tears of the Kingdom. I didn't like it.
Okay.
I didn't even finish it. I got maybe two parts through it, maybe like two-thirds temples through it, whatever. I sold it. I got Pokemon cards.
Oh, good choice though. That's value.
I couldn't do it. Okay, by the middle of it, I was so bored. I was like, this it's the same game with one, and I'll give you that one very impressive physics mechanic. That's all they added to it, was a really impressive physics mechanic, and it is impressive because you can do some crazy shit.
The Gundams, the Gundams and stuff you make, it's kind of hilarious.
Really crazy shit in that game, and that's the only thing about that game that's new to me. And I found more new content in Resident Evil 4 remake than I did in Tears of the Kingdom. So if we're talking about remake categories, you might as well throw Tears of the Kingdom in there. That's just my opinion.
I love it. Okay? I love it.
We love controversy.
Game. I'm sorry. It was just not good for me. It didn't hit. So if I had to guess, I'm going to say it's either Resident Evil 4 or Alan Wake 2. Based off of the description of this category, which is traversal with puzzle solving, I'm going to say it's either Resident Evil 4 and Alan Wake 2. I didn't play Alan Wake 2, but I know enough about the Alan Wake franchise. I bought it and I'm playing it next on my stream. I know enough about it to know that it's impressive. And that it does exactly what this is, traversal and puzzle solving. And I know it's going to do those particular things very well, because Remedy hits it out of the park with that shit. Like, their games are fantastic. But I really, I'm going to see Tears of the Kingdom in most of these categories and be like, no, fuck, I hate that game. I can't stand it. So we're just getting it out there. I'm tired of Nintendo sweeping categories just because they're Nintendo. I'm done. I'm sick of it.
That's fair. Ed, before I toss to you, I just want to add, I will say Spider-Man 2, I don't think, okay, before I say anything else, I'm going to allow spoilers for games, say as much or as little as you want. If there's any games or something, especially the panel wants to like keep hidden, I'll keep hidden, but I wanted to give some spoilers for Spider-Man 2. As long as that's okay. Are we good with
totally
that?
Go for it.
It's Game of the Worst. So Spider-Man 2, it does feel like the first one to me a lot in terms of like the swinging, the combat, everything. But then it's like the first one was so good to me that I'm okay with like them not drastically changing a bunch of stuff in that. When you get to play as Venom in this game, you feel like it's that moment of like, oh shit, like this feels good, like this feels special, getting these Venom abilities, all the stuff they added with Miles, with Peter, and just like the story of it. I was just like, they did enough to me that I was like, this was worth it. Like I can see like Skye being like this, I played this and it feels so similar. When I played Spider-Man 2, through the whole game, there was never a moment where I was like, oh man, I gotta go do this side quest. Oh, I gotta go do this for the 100%. It was like start to finish, 100%. Great. Like, loved it. And I will even say the same thing with Resident Evil 4. I agree. Like, I loved it. I thought it was a fantastic game. I just, like, I don't know. Something about, like, a Game of the Year getting remade and then being eligible for Game of the Year again just kind of, like, it sits weird. Like, it sits, like, just a little wrong. But, Ed, go ahead. What do you got for us?
Honestly, out of all these, the one I like the most is Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I think it's a good continuation of the story from the original game.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it does have a lot of action and traversal and puzzle solving throughout the whole thing. So, and I'm not really a big Star Wars fan, but I do like the games itself.
Yeah, fair enough. I just heard the launch of it was just really bad, but it's like same thing happened with Cyberpunk, and now everybody's like you've seen it's nominated for categories this year, and it's like this didn't even come out this year, but I'm sure we'll get into it. But yeah, unfortunately for me, I think Tears of the Kingdom takes it. Okay. I'm not going to have a lot to say about this category, but that's why I have these amazing panel friends here who are going to be able to talk about the best action game of the year. Armored Core 6, Dead Island 2, Ghost Runner 2, Hi-Fi Rush, and Remnant 2. Skye, I'm going to throw to you first because I actually watched you play through a lot of Remnant 2, so it was very fun.
So, Liza P not being in this category again is ridiculous to me.
Mm-hmm. And Final Fantasy 16.
Absolutely, yeah, I wouldn't even put Final Fantasy 16. Well, like it belongs in this category, but I don't think it would win in this category. I don't think it's the best action game. Like it had, I have my opinions about 16. Big Final Fantasy fan, love it, but definitely wasn't the best one. But I played Armored Core, High Rush, and Remnant 2. I'm going to say, if I had to wager a bet on this, just based off of content alone, the way it plays, fan base, and the fact that DLC just came out for it, Remnant 2.
Okay, fair enough.
Armored Core was awesome. It was but it's a little bit more niche, I think, and that's surprising because they're both pretty damn niche. But I think Remnant 2, just from what I what I've understood about it, what I've wagered, like most people that I know played Remnant 2. If I asked who played Armored Core, most of them would be like, what's that? So
fair, yeah.
Definitely Remnant 2, I think, is going to
win. Edward?
So out of all these, honestly, I think it really comes down to Armored Core or Ghost Runner 2. Ghost Runner 2 is a really cool stylized approach to it. The original Ghost Runner was a great game as well. But Armored Core is a From Software game, and people have to pay respects to the creator of all the Souls games. And Armored Core has been such a long legacy series, so
people give it that. What do you want to win?
I want Ghost Runner 2 to win because it's more indie, but I really think Armored Core is going to win. And Dead Island 2 shouldn't be on this list because it was in development for so long and awful.
Yeah.
Dead Island 2 is not good.
Fair enough. Koopo?
Well, it's not my type of game. But there is one game that came out of nowhere and everybody loved it, and that was Hi-Fi Rush. If you guys remember, it literally all the gaming journalists were like, "This game is amazing. Play this game. Play this game." But I think people have forgot about Hi-Fi Rush, and so what is super memorable from Software? From
Yeah.
Software is really memorable.
Mhm.
Oh, I mean, it's just some of the best games of all time. So I'm gonna probably give it to Armored Core, even though I personally like Remnant 2 better.
Mhm.
Because it's more of that Souls type of experience that I like. But Armored Core is just so cool, and it's super flashy and fun, and you get to play as a mech. Like, that's fun. Come on.
The best feeling.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'd probably be torn between Hi-Fi Rush and Remnant 2. From what I've seen, Remnant 2 definitely seems like it's developed on the first game, the original, and just kind of just doing more of that but better. Yeah. And Hi-Fi Rush just did come out of nowhere, and it honestly seems like a game I would absolutely love if I jumped in, because any sort of rhythm game is gonna get me chumming. So
it's a good time.
It's like combat with rhythm. It's just like, it's such a great experience.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Hi-Fi Rush because I don't know. It came out from Bethesda and it's Xbox, and all the Xbox tax people are gonna be like, God, we gotta get something. We gotta win something on this fucking Game Awards. Because it ain't gonna be Starfield. So okay. Oh God. Okay. Best VR/AR experience. Gran Turismo 7, Horizon Call of the Mountain, Humanity, Resident Evil Village VR mode, or Synapse. Has anybody?
I'm surprised that the Resident Evil 4 VR isn't on here, because that was a free update.
Is it out already though?
It is, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I've seen people play it. So
maybe
I'm surprised that's not on here.
It might not have made it, depending on how late it released. If it might not have made the cutoff for the Game Awards. Yeah. But with that being said, Resident Evil Village VR mommy mode over there. Milkers, I don't think the mommy milkers. Yeah, I think we all agree.
I don't know how it could lose. I
really think Horizon Call of the Mountain, it won at the last award thing that I don't remember what it's called, the Golden Joystick.
Oh, okay.
And it won there. Apparently it's a pretty awesome experience. Plus I love Horizon, so I'm a little biased. So I'm gonna give it to Horizon because I just love Aloy, and she's amazing.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, the only one I've actually played on here, I did beat Humanity. It was a very interesting puzzle game, but I don't like when I think of VR or AR, I don't think of that game. So I would have to go with the mommy milkers for the W.
Does anybody have like? I get so sick playing in VR.
I love it.
I can't do it.
So good.
I can't do it. It's the worst. I get such like bad, like it feels like I'm on a boat. And I'm like, oh. Yeah, I hate it.
What kind of headset do you have?
I used one of the Oculus ones. I don't personally have it, but when I was
okay.
Yeah. I used an Oculus and was playing, and was just like 5 minutes in, I was like, oh, I can't do this. This sucks.
I've heard of that. I have an Oculus. I play a lot of Beat Saber with it. But I find that like your eyes kind of like stabilize to it after like a long exposure. And then when you take it off, you feel sick because you're like, oh, the real world sucks.
So true.
The opposite after. Like you take 3 hours of the thing and you take it off and you're like, now I feel crappy. Like,
yeah.
So true.
I've never personally used one. I would love to, but I also can get motion sickness, so I'm like, I probably would maybe last like 30 minutes to an hour and not be able to handle it.
It's pretty rough.
Ed, thoughts on AR, VR?
Oh, I'm gonna have to the Resident Evil. I don't have VR. I haven't played it, but mommy milkers very, very good.
Listen, people love the booba. It's a guaranteed fact in gaming. You're gonna love the booba. Okay, our next category: best mobile game. Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, Hello Kitty Island Adventure, fucking sleeper hit, Honkai Star Rail, Monster Hunter Now, or Terra Nil. I will start this off by saying I actually did play some Ever Crisis. It was all right. Like I had fun with it, but it is very like monetized like most mobile games. So I played it for like an hour or two, and I was like, this is fun. It's enjoyable. It's cool to see a different like little take on Final Fantasy VII. But overall, I was like, I don't see how Honkai Star Rail doesn't win this.
It's
Like,
gonna win for sure.
It's
Oh, yeah,
way too
absolutely.
big. But my sleeper pick is Hello Kitty Island Adventure. Obviously, I want that to succeed.
So,
The
Um,
meme vote. I'd vote for it.
I'd vote for
There you
it. And I know you're a huge mobile gamer. I need your in-depth insights.
How did you know? So honestly, out of all these games, I did play Monster Hunter now for like
Oh.
a couple minutes. Terra Nil is an actual game that's on Steam that I played through, and it's a
Oh.
full game. There's no microtransactions.
Microtransactions, yeah. No Michael.
oh, Michael, come on.
So I'm gonna say Terra Nil. I want it to win, and
Okay.
I don't even know what the Star Rail thing is. So I'm gonna say Monster Hunter now.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So you have access to the internet and you don't know anything about Hoyoverse? Like, really?
You haven't been on YouTube and saw an ad
Seen
for
the
Honkai
videos
Star
of,
Rail every 2
girls and
seconds.
shit? Like,
my
Shocking.
news.
Listen, this is why I brought in these three specific people, because I was like, this is a very unique group of people who played different stuff. Ed, have you heard of this little game called Genshin Impact?
I have.
It is their second
yeah.
game. They made this.
now they're like in space and shit.
Yeah, it's a turn-based like space Genshin, and you're like, there's ain't no chance in hell that ain't winning.
And
Definitely not in my state.
yeah. They have unlimited money too, because literally all the ads that I get are Honkai Star Rail ads.
Yeah.
There's
Oh my
nothing
God.
else.
Yeah,
So-
it's huge. I don't see how this could not just dumpster everything.
Yeah.
It's if it doesn't get a ton of bot votes, it's gonna get a ton of like regular votes, or it might get both. It might get both. 'Cause, I remember the last year, Genshin just got swarmed by bot votes.
I believe it.
Yeah.
The weebs will rejoice in choosing that. But
Yeah, it's
listen,
Terrifying.
number 2, check out Hello Kitty Island Adventure. Absolute fucking banger of a game. I've never even heard of it, I'll be honest.
I voted for it.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Best debut indie game. For the best debut game created by a new independent studio. So we have Cocoon, Dredge, Pizza Tower, Venba, and Viewfinder. Ed, I'm going to toss to you on this one, because I know you do enjoy your indies.
I do. So out of all these, I think Dredge, favorite game, had a lot of like Lovecraftian, exploring around and fishing. My pick.
Okay. All right, let's go. I have not personally played any of these, but I have heard a lot of good things about Dredge, and I've also heard a lot of good things about Pizza Tower, and I have no idea what it is, but I keep hearing things, whether it's like just like seeing like a few streams. I've seen like some of the comments, like you'd be on Game of the Year, like indie stuff, and it's just Pizza Tower, like crazy. And I'm like, I don't know what this is, but I'm kind of intrigued, especially by this art style. What the hell this thing actually is. So I'm honestly gonna go with Pizza Tower.
Yeah. Okay. I don't really have an opinion on this one, so I'm just kind of going with you guys.
I've seen a lot of Cocoon, and I don't know what the hell is happening when I watch people play it, but it looks cool.
Mhm.
But I've heard the most about Dredge, so I'm probably gonna go with that one.
Okay.
It also seems to fit more with my vibe, so I feel like if I had to play any of these, I'd probably like it better. But yeah, Dredge is probably gonna win.
Yeah, and the chat is being like Dredge and Pizza Tower are
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely want to get more into indies. The more I see how just how loved and crafted they are. Best independent game. So before we get into this, I've heard like a lot of people complaining about Dave the Diver not being an independent game.
I was about to bring that up. I'm actually Googling it right now
Okay.
because their publisher is I think like a multi-billion-dollar company, and I think Mint Rocket is their independent but like interior studio.
Gotcha.
So like they work out of a multi-billion-dollar publisher. So I know there's a ton of controversial opinions on Mint Rocket and Dave the Diver. I'm just trying to find out what the developer's name is.
Absolutely. While you're searching that, I will go through the other categories. So we do have Cocoon, Dave the Diver, Dredge, Sea of Stars, and Viewfinder. Yeah, all I know about when I saw Dave the Diver, I was just like, this game It needs to come to PlayStation because you're a fisherman during the day and you run a sushi restaurant at night. And I was like, bro, I don't care how many millions of dollars they have behind them. That sounds fucking fun. And I'm intrigued. And I think it's like the only category it's nominated for. So it would be close between that and Sea of Stars. I think Sea of Stars will win based off the controversy. And I think Sea of Stars does deserve something like on here. I think it's a really great game.
Sea of Stars is that good, nice throwback to like original
Old school,
Final Fantasy.
like Chrono Trigger sort of
It's
stuff.
amazing.
Yeah. Plus the soundtrack is a bunch of bangers.
Mhm.
Like it's good.
Mhm.
It's good.
It's
So
a very beautiful game. A nice throwback for like the old school of like the JRPG genre.
yeah,
So
exactly. So
I would say Sea of Stars.
same.
I want them to win
Mhm.
for sure, but I know Dave the Diver is going to win. It's Nexon. They're a South Korean video game publisher, and from what I understand, they're a big deal.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Yeah. So that's pretty slimy. I don't know, but Dave the Diver is like a really good game, like a quality product. So I think despite that, I think Dave the Diver is like it's gonna win for sure. Like that's captured the hearts of like a ton of people and a lot of really big streamers, which is like the primary voting base for this type of thing. Watched like they played Dave the Diver and it got a lot of steam as a result. So I think that one's gonna win. But I really want Sea of Stars to win. Like in my heart of hearts, it's that one.
Ed?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Dave the Diver's probably going to win because between that and the other game I like the most, which is Dredge, Dave the Diver has more going on for it overall. But that's because it's made by a giant studio.
Okay, well, fair enough. Sorry,
Yeah.
Sky, did you want to add on to that?
No.
Okay,
That's
perfect.
yeah. I'm just nodding.
Yeah, we'll have to see how the controversy plays out. Honestly, when I saw Dave the Diver, I would not have been able to tell you in a million years if it was a big published studio behind it. I would have thought it was indie 100%. It gives the vibes, it fits it. So I'm indifferent though. I think Sea of Stars though. Overall, just give it to them. Avoid the controversy. It deserves the win anyways. Like that'd be nice. Best community support. Recognize
Baldur's Gate.
Oh wow, shocker. Recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media activity and game updates patches.
Yeah.
We have Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, and No Man's Sky. Ed, I'm going to throw to you.
Honestly, I'm going to say Cyberpunk with the 2.0 patch and the DLC they came out at the same time and all the hype with the Netflix show. I think that just kind of this category seems like it's tailor-made for them. No Man's Sky maybe a year ago, but they're just running now.
Fair. Koopo?
So I've got three things. So the first thing is Final Fantasy 14 has a huge, very, very vocal fan base. It's very vocal and they will go after you. Cyberpunk 2077, I could see this maybe, during development and things like that. But I'm going to give it to Baldur's Gate because not just because I love Baldur's Gate, but because literally how many patches have they put out already? 5. Because they're constantly coming up with new things to add to the game to make it even better. Like somebody was complaining that, you can't get an item off of a companion unless the companion's in your party. Well, they just made it a thing so you can do that now. They don't have to be in your party. They're just adding like these little things to make the game even better and better and better. And so they really do listen to people. And so I'm giving it to Baldur's Gate.
Like ease of access, just things that are annoying that you just are like, why is this a thing?
Quality of life.
Yeah, quality of life. Yeah.
Yep.
Sky, go ahead.
So Final Fantasy 14, like you're right. They're huge, but I am seeing a lot of like waning support on 14. Like I used to be huge into 14 and I haven't resubbed in like 8 months. And the reason for that is it's just a lot of the new content. It's good, but it's not enough to keep me going. And now that the game doesn't have any like mainline story patches coming out, like actual like big ones. Like Endwalker was huge. So like they won when Endwalker came out, but I don't think they're going to win this one. Now I think it's Baldur's Gate. And I'm not saying that because I love
I love how we have to justify it every
I have to
time.
justify it because I'm a huge fangirl, big fangirl. But for multiple reasons. One, they won the Joystick Award for the same category.
Mhm.
That's a pretty good indicator. Two, Larian is ridiculous. Like Larian is, I've never seen a studio treat their game with so much love and so much care. Like you could, like, I bet you could DM them and they would get back to you. like somebody would message you back and it wouldn't be a bot because they're listening to their fan base. They're releasing patch after patch with quality content in it, which is for free. And they're doing it rapid fire, which is insane. Like the game's only been out for like 2.5, 3 months at this point. And they've already got 5 patches. The last one was 30 gigabytes. They added new endings, epilogues. And now I think that was necessary because Act 3's, you could argue it was pretty unfinished at launch. So they're finishing totally. So they're finishing it now. But like they didn't have to do that. They released a product that was excellent, even with a mid-tier Act 3. Everything they've added has been really well made. It's fully voice act. It's written incredibly. It plays like a dream. There were some issues with Act 4, like not Act 4, sorry, Patch 4 had some glitching. Like I found a lot of glitches in Patch 4, but they're gone now. Like I turned the game on to stream it a couple days ago with Patch 5. Like silky smooth. And you can tell it looks like that because they're either playing it themselves or they're listening to their fan base.
Yep.
It's just an incredibly impressive product and it's coming from an incredibly impressive studio. And the community is ravenous. Like those people are psycho.
Okay,
Everyone
perfect.
wants a piece. So
Larian is great. They actually made one of my favorite games of all time, which is Divinity Original Sin 2. If you guys have not played
Ed knows.
buy that game. It is honestly perfect. And then they just nailed this game. It's even better. And so they're the best for sure.
so good.
Okay.
So good.
I am definitely the resident Final Fantasy 14 fanboy. I've been on and off for like 10 years. Literally since I think like the first month it was out, I was subbed to the game. And I resubbed a couple months ago because I had also done what Skye did, and I was gone for 10, 11 months, I think. Almost a year. And I want to just take a break, come back to it. And I'm 2 months in, and I'm probably gonna cancel the sub again because I'm like,
It's not good enough.
I did all the new stuff. I got all this caught up on the story stuff, and I was like, okay, this is great, but like I'm not somebody to do weeklies over and over. And they do have great summer. Sorry,
summer is the next big
expansion? So next year is when the Dawn Trail, I think it is coming out. So we're getting ready for that. But in terms of community support, I don't think it's that. I think if they were going to give a category to somebody else that's not Baldur's Gate, because I think, I don't know, I don't want it to win everything. I think it's going to win a lot, but like I always would love to give it to No Man's Sky. That is a company that started from literal garbage. Like when that game came out, everybody hated it, and now it's like it's been what, like 6-7 years, and they've never once charged for a microtransaction. They've never charged for anything. And I'm like, it's a smaller game, and I'm like, of all of them that Baldur's Gate like could not win in a category, this is the one where I'm like, I think No Man's Sky is the only one that would have a chance, sort of thing. But from what you guys said, I believe it. Even the Baldur's Gate said they're gonna have like a physical edition.
Oh,
that's like
insane.
the same price, but with all these goodies, and I was like, that's community support, baby. Like that's
it's ridiculous. The value on that package is like unheard of. It's crazy.
It's the power of that D&D brand.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah. And I don't play it, but I respect it. I respect like how much that company is just good faith that they've generated. Absolutely crazy. Is the power of that vampire twink. Well, hold up. Okay. Wow. Okay. I've got some words for this, but best ongoing: Apex Legends, Cyberpunk 2077, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Genshin Impact. Somebody jump in. Just go ahead.
But shouldn't No Man's Sky be in this category? Because it's been ongoing for so many years now.
You'd think, but Like
this list could be huge.
it would be like anything that is like World of Warcraft could be on this list. It's still ongoing. Like, I don't think Cyberpunk should be on here. When I think of when I think of ongoing game, I don't think of like a DLC coming out for it. Tales of Arise just had a DLC come out last month, and I wouldn't say that's still an ongoing game. It's like a single player game that got a DLC. Whereas you look at Fortnite, Genshin, Final Fantasy, Apex, I'm like, yeah, they've never stopped. Like they've never, like, I don't know. Like you could put like any other battle royale in there. But I would personally say of all these this year, Fortnite. Like I from all of them, I'm like, I love Final Fantasy 14, but I'm like, not this year. Like it's been a drier year. Next year it picks up, and then. But I would say Fortnite personally.
Yeah. I hate saying those words out of my mouth, but I think that because I want 14 to win, but like you guys said, it's been super dry. So
it's very dry.
I haven't played it in over a year, 14. So it's kind of like, I have been playing Fortnite, and they really do a good job of making it fresh. So
hate it or love it. They really
love it. They really do. They know what they're doing. So. Yeah.
Sky?
I would say Apex, actually.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. I think Apex has like a really does Fortnite have an esports presence, or is it just on this list is just Apex? I've never seen Fortnite. The reason I bring that up is because Apex is making a ton of waves in esports right now, and they've released a ton of new characters. Like I haven't played Apex like in a year at least, but if I turned it on now, it would be a totally different game because there's new maps, there's new content, there's new guns, there's new rotations, there's new meta in the characters and stuff like that. And I've watched people play Apex. And it just doesn't look like the same game to me anymore. Like Fortnite, despite the fact that they're adding new characters and shit, it still looks like the same game to me. It doesn't look like it's evolved into anything totally different. Apex looks like they're trying to appeal more to the esports side of things. So I would probably put it into Apex's court, at least this year. I think Apex has done a lot this year.
I love Apex. But I look at Fortnite and I'm like, I don't even really like this game that much. But you look at the shit they add constantly. It's always like every few weeks it feels like, oh, there's an update. Oh, there's like 4 new guns. There's, all this rotation. There's these new vehicles. There's hoverboards. There's like, even like in the last, they've done like the rebrand where they reset like, and it went back to like Fortnite OG. And it's just like small things like that, and they fucked up the season today. But in a few days, like you're gonna play it, and it's gonna be like this is a completely different game again. And it's like, I love Apex, but I can't, like, something about it just I fell off, and I want to get back into it. So honestly, maybe just hearing that, I need to jump back in and just try some of the new characters and stuff. Ed?
Oh, we're going Fortnite all the way.
Okay. Ed with his crack analysis for the category. Oh boy. Okay. Games for impact. For a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. A Space for the Unbound, Chance of Senar, Goodbye Volcano High, Tachia, Terra Nil, and Venba.
I don't have a I don't have an opinion on this, but I do see Goodbye Volcano High. They were made by, it says co-op, but it's spelled Coop, and my name's KoopoMog, so
okay, perfect. You know what? I like that logic. I like it.
Yeah.
Ed? Are any of these indies on your list?
I mean, again, I played through Terra Nil, so I'm going to go with that one. It's about bringing back the environment, bringing back life and greenery. Okay. So I'm going to say Terra Nil.
Okay.
I haven't played any of these, but if I had to go off of a social message, I would also say Terra Nil. I think that's probably the most important thing in terms of impact right now. It would be, hey, save the environment before we exacerbate and
Die.
sell our own heat death. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just seems important. But also like anything that's kind of nature based, I would play just for like the zen of it all. Like, it just seems like it might be a zen game, and I'm on board to just turn that kind of thing on and play it for a couple hours a night if I just want to chill. But yeah, in terms of social messaging and impact, I would probably go with the one that's trying to prevent our doom.
Yeah, you know, probably a good idea.
Yeah.
A little important.
I've only played Tachia on here, but I've watched Jemmy play through A Space for the Unbound on her stream, and it's a lot about depression and fighting that sort of stuff, and talking about like mental stress and like the mental struggles of that sort of stuff. So I would agree. I would think it's between A Space for the Unbound and Terra Nil. I think just based on those, and A Space for the Unbound was really like it was really good story wise. I'm not sure about Terra Nil specifically, but like Unbound just felt really good. So I would personally choose that one for me. Innovation in accessibility. We have Diablo 4, Forza Motorsport, Hi-Fi Rush, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Mortal Kombat 1, and Street Fighter 6. And it's just for pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience.
I'm not sure why Mortal Kombat's on here.
No, me neither.
I'm failing to see how what they're doing hasn't been done before.
I also don't think Diablo 4 deserves to win anything. Like,
Okay.
So, like, it's just automatically every list I see it on. I go like eye blind. I just like, here, it's gone. Like,
this one for me, it's Street Fighter 6.
Me too.
The modern controls just like I would never been able to even compete on online at all without those modern controls because I'm not a fighting game player. So them just putting that in there, just such a small change, like it makes such a huge impact. And so Street Fighter 6 for sure.
Skye?
I would say Street Fighter 2. Just the modern's huge. Like, people don't like it. Like, competitive players don't like it. But I think accessibility is so important for games like that one, like fighting games. They should all have that option because it's a great way to learn how to get into it and to get a feel for the character. And then when you feel like maybe you can, you know, do pretty well online with modern, then you can switch to the classic controls and you can try those, right? But the option is there. And I think that's so important. Like, fighting games are so difficult to play. Like, they're so hard. And modern is crazy. It's huge.
Yeah, just jumping in late, like trying to be like, oh, I'm going to jump into Tekken 8. And it's like, oh boy. All right. If you don't have any sort of accessibility, it's like, all right, get ready to get juggled for 20 seconds in the row and then just get killed. And you're like, so
there's a modern player, like a modern Chun-Li at Evo. And like, they got really far and everyone was like, it's modern Chun. Like, what? Like, it's impressive.
Yeah, you can still be competitive. There are downsides to modern, like you're not going to do as much damage and things like that. But that accessibility it brings more people into your game, which makes you more money. So why wouldn't you want to do it? You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
It's just makes so much sense.
Yeah.
I'll be back in 1 second, you guys.
No worries.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't really know a lot about like in terms of accessibility. Not only not played most of these, but very often you're not going into accessibility unless you're looking for like a very specific thing. So I'm gonna trust that Street Fighter 6, like just what you've mentioned, has already swayed me to be like this should probably win. Spider-Man, I played through it. I don't think I even touched the accessibility menus in it, so it's clearly not. It's not needed.
Right.
So I can only think that. The only other thing I can think of is Forza. They do a lot of stuff with accessibility in terms of like just you can change like anything you need to in those games. And from what I've seen, it's really good. Like they're up there with like The Last of Us when you think of like accessibility in a game. Like you can change everything in that sort of stuff. So I'm gonna go with Street Fighter 6. Ed?
Okay.
So Street Fighter 6 definitely has a ton of accessibility. But honestly, my vote's going to go to Forza Motorsports, just because they have things like driving for people that can't see. They have a lot of like audio cues now they've added. They've added ASL for people that can do sign language. So yeah, when it comes to things like that, allowing people to continue to play a racing game, just like how mechanically in depth playing a fighting game is, any of these things at the end of the day, should be continue to be promoted because it's good for everyone that has these issues and wants to play games with us.
Absolutely. That's really, they're both doing great things to help more people get involved with the entire franchise and be able to get into it just in general. Like 10 years ago, you probably wouldn't have seen any of this sort of stuff for like any game, just being able to get in and jump in. Okay. We might dispute on who we think should win this. Best performance. So we have Ben Starr for Final Fantasy 16, Cameron, I can't say his last name, Monaghan, Star Wars Jedi.
Yeah.
It's
Monaghan.
Okay, thank you, Kupo. Idris Elba for Cyberpunk 2077, Melanie Libbard from Alan Wake 2, Neil Newbin from Baldur's Gate 3, and Yuri Lowenthal from Marvel's Spider-Man 2.
Who wants to go first?
Idris Elba.
Okay.
He has a nice voice. It sounds nice. It's recognizable. I liked Phantom Liberty too. So
that's fair enough.
I'll jump in. There's a lot of things I didn't like about Final Fantasy 16, but one thing I loved was Ben Starr as Clive. He basically carried for me a lot of like the voice acting. Him, Sid, like they just something about that, like just his voice and his passion for Final Fantasy really sold me on that game. So from what I've heard and the voice acting, I would personally give it to him for this one.
It's gonna be either between Ben Starr or Neil Newbon. I think Ben Starr did a fantastic Clive. Final Fantasy 16 made me cry. Like during that one scene right at the beginning where he put his whole freaking soul into that performance. Like Neil is great, but man, Ben just put his heart and soul into that performance. So especially that one scene, you guys know. You guys know. And I bawled my eyes out because it just had so much passion. So I'm going to give it to Ben Starr. And if we're going by past, he did win it at the Joystick Awards. So
fair enough.
So it's usually a good indicator.
Yeah.
I just want to give Yuri Lowenthal a shout out because I fucking
love Yuri Lowenthal. Amazing, by the way, in Spider-Man 2. I thought he did fantastic.
Like he's an old, like he goes back a long way. Like he's voiced in a ton of like animes that I watched, a ton of like Tales games. He was in a few of those. Like I'm a big Yuri Lowenthal fan. Like he's just an OG. I love him, but he's not gonna win. It's gonna be either Ben Starr or Neil Newbon, and I really want Ben Starr to win because I think he's such a wonderful personality. I think Clive is as much as I am not a huge fan, like Final Fantasy 16 was great. It's not the best Final Fantasy game I've ever played, but deserves to be acknowledged in a couple categories at least. And one of them's coming up, and I'll have my opinion on that too. But I really want Ben Starr to win, but I have a feeling it's going to be Neil. Everyone loves Neil right now.
This feels like... Sorry, go ahead, Koopo.
Neil's also just an amazing person. So I actually know somebody on here on Twitch that I actually go into their streams and like actively chat, and we're friends. Neil rated him.
Oh, nice.
And he went from like 2 viewers to like 6,000.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, amazing.
Like Neil is actually a good person, but I've also been told that Ben Starr will pop into people's streams that are playing Final Fantasy 16 and like actively talk to them.
Just hang out. They're
like good people, which is also like really hard to be like, man, like, I don't know.
Obviously, I can't comment on Neil's performance in Baldur's Gate 3. I haven't seen it. But yeah, I assume like both of them together, like the passion they have for the projects they work on, it shows.
It
And like the
does.
further we
Yeah.
get into gaming, like the more you feel like you get these performances that people give everything, and it's like I'm glad. I was just gonna say this seems like another category where like Baldur's Gate like has a chance not to win, and that's why I was like Ben Star. They might throw the nod to something that's not Baldur's Gate, so people aren't like,
Yeah.
oh my god, it's just take like 9 awards or 11, whatever, how 11 awards or whatever sort of thing. This is one of the other categories.
Also, I just want to throw it out there that
Mhm.
Final Fantasy VIII is my favorite Final Fantasy. You can roast me in the chat, I don't care. And Ben Stars is also Final
It
Fantasy
is.
VIII,
It is. Fair enough.
Okay.
Kupo, I don't know how many people would agree with you, but I respect your opinion. Best audio design. Recognize the best in-game audio and sound design. Alan Wake 2, Dead Space, Hi-Fi Rush, Marvel Spider-Man 2, and Resident Evil 4.
So this is tough for me because like a lot of these I've never played, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't got that full experience. Like Spider-Man, I've watched somebody play it, but I've never personally played it, so I'm not getting the same experience, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I heard Hi-Fi Rush,
Mm-hmm.
the sound design and the in-game audio and all of that is just like A plus.
Mhm.
So what I want to win is probably Hi-Fi Rush, but what I voted for was Resident Evil 4.
Fair enough. Sky?
So when I think of audio design, I don't necessarily think of like the music that's composed for the project itself, or let's just like subtle details about like what a gun sounds like, because that's just whatever. I think about like footsteps and like shadows and things that you kind of hear off to the side if you've got surround sound that kind of make you turn your head and shit. Now
Mhm.
that, in my opinion, is audio design. And if I had to give it to anything here, it'd be Alan Wake 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Ed?
Yeah, so I haven't really played any of these, but I've watched people play them, and I was going to say the same thing. I think Alan Wake 2 builds a good atmosphere through their audio design. And
It's so
Resident Evil
important.
4, yeah. I mean, the problem is, like what you said earlier, these two remakes, Dead Space and Resident Evil 4, they do have great atmosphere, but it's just building upon something that's already been done in the past because it's a remake.
That's fair. I also haven't played Alan Wake 2, but I've been trying to actively watch like playthroughs and stuff in some of these games, and I'm like 3-4 hours into Alan Wake 2, and there's lots of things I don't like, but like in that forest, like hearing the rustling, everything around you is I respect that. I think if something's gonna win on here, I think Alan Wake 2 or maybe Dead Space, just for the atmosphere, but I personally think Alan Wake 2.
Dead Space was scary. It was
It
really,
was.
really
Mhm.
scary.
That's spooky.
So, yeah.
Dead Space is also a little bit cartoony though.
A little bit,
Like,
yeah.
yeah. So like when you
Mhm.
think of like sophisticated audio design, like a twig
Mhm.
snapping and like just
Yeah.
like on the breeze, like atmosphere is
Yeah.
just. Ugh.
Okay.
Alan Wake's good at that.
Best score and music. Alan Wake 2, I'm not going to read the composers. Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 16, Hi-Fi Rush, or The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Sky, you want to start with this one?
I do. If we're talking about who's gonna win based off of popularity, it's gonna be Baldur's Gate. I
Mhm.
don't agree with it though. I don't. In this category, at least, I would. Again, I'm gonna throw this into Alan Wake too. They have their own, like I don't know who's familiar with the Alan Wake lore, but there's this band in Alan Wake called Old Gods of Asgard, and they've shown up through a lot of Remedy's games. And Alan Wake, the original, had a killer soundtrack. It was insane. And from what I've seen, because again, I have Alan Wake 2 on my docket to play, but from what I've seen,
Mhm.
there's literally an 11-minute like ballad in Alan Wake 2 that's fully composed. There's a music video that's out for it now. They're probably going to perform it at the Game Awards. It's going to be really huge, I think.
That's awesome.
They actually have like a live action like dance score. Like it's ridiculous. But that band having its own lore in the game and then playing the music for the game, I think is super cool. And they're just really good songs. Like I implore anyone who doesn't care about spoilers to go look up Herald of Darkness on YouTube and just watch the music video. It's like 8 minutes long. It's really good. Just in terms of, I think, creativity, Alan Wake definitely has in the bag. Final Fantasy's soundtrack was awesome. It was generic, sort of, but it was really good. But I personally, I really want Alan Wake to win.
Okay, Ed.
I mean, out of all of these, I think Hi-Fi Rush has really good, like, it's a cool soundtrack, and it really does good with the game itself. Final Fantasy always has great soundtracks, but yeah, I think Alan Wake 2, I haven't, from what I listened to from the background, like, I did enjoy it, I'd say, the most.
Okay.
So Alan Wake 2.
Okay. I'm a Final Fantasy shill, so there ain't nothing that I would vote above a Final Fantasy soundtrack, so I would just say that.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Koopa?
This is really tough for me because Baldur's Gate 3 really does have a great soundtrack. And there's songs in particular that I actually like listen to in my car, like all the way up.
Which one?
Raphael's last.
Oh my god!
So
Yes.
without too many spoilers, the boss actually sings his own boss music.
Themes.
That's kind of hilarious.
and it's amazing. But Masayoshi Soken is a god. And so I'm going to give it to Final Fantasy 16. I mean, look at the Final Fantasy 14 soundtrack, Final Fantasy 16. He did all that, and it's amazing. By the way, he did all that while he was, like, had cancer, by the way.
Absolute legend.
Yeah.
Legend.
Yeah, he's a freaking legend. So, yeah, it's really tough for me. But I think Baldur's Gate, its music is more atmospherical. Does that make sense? What I'm trying to say? And then Final Fantasy 16
it's like set piece.
It's like a set piece driving force. So like that's why I would give it to 16.
Okay, fair.
And to tack on to Soken though, like he is a legend.
Yeah,
Like he's
absolutely.
very well respected.
Absolutely. Yeah, this seems like another category that like is up for like multiple categories could win, which is nice when it's not like just like a steamroll right through.
Exactly.
Like I like Baldur's Gate and everything it's done, but it's like I don't want to see it win everything. I want a lot of games to win a lot of different things just to because it's been such a good year. Like it's been an absolutely stacked year. Best art direction. For outstanding creative and or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. Alan Wake 2, Hi-Fi Rush, Lies of P, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I don't know what they mean necessarily by art direction, just like the choices they made, I guess, for the art.
Yeah, I guess it's like atmosphere, the graphics, what do they look like, that kind of thing. Do the animations, like, are they fluid? Are they more choppy? That kind of thing. What was kind of their design?
Fair. Koopo,
yeah.
just fucking take us in.
Oh, okay. What I want to win, honestly, is Lies of P. Lies of P is a fantastic game. I did a 24-hour stream. And, probably like 17 or 18 hours of that stream was Lies of P because I couldn't put it down.
It was wild.
It was really wild. It was super wild. I like the atmosphere. It's based on. It got a lot of direction and stuff from Bloodborne.
Which everybody loves Bloodborne, baby.
Everybody loves Bloodborne.
They can.
And they're unapologetic about it. Super unapologetic about everything that they got from Bloodborne. And a lot of the art, the city looks very Bloodborne, all of that kind of stuff. Hey, if it's not broken, don't fix it. And Lies of P is one of those, and I hope they win. But it's probably going to be Zelda. Let's be real.
The size.
I can't.
I think in terms of best art direction, I could honestly see something like Super Mario Bros. Wonder winning just because they threw so many like colors and like it feels like you're on an acid trip when you play the game. I don't think Zelda should have any fucking shot. They literally just copied Breath of the Wild in terms of art direction. There's no difference.
Yeah.
Like,
It doesn't matter.
it's so dumb.
The Legend of Zelda game, and like everyone's just gonna like shower it with praise and stuff just because of its IP and its developer and shit. I just can't. I can't do it.
I would say Hi-Fi Rush and maybe Alan Wake. I would choose between the two of them personally, just because Alan Wake, like, Remedy's crazy with what they do with, especially with when it comes to like things like control and how kind of wild they make their environments and everything. And I do like that about the games, but just like a general art style, start to finish, Hi-Fi Rush like captures me as like something different. And
Yeah.
but it's pretty great. Ed?
So I think out of all of them, I'm gonna give it to Alan Wake again because it's that kind of game. It builds upon having a good art direction, or it doesn't work because it's trying to tell a story. Legend of Zelda, we've already seen the graphics. It hasn't really changed that much from the last one. Super Mario Brothers, we know what it looks like. Liza P, I would want Liza P to win, but I just feel like Alan Wake
is bigger.
Is going to end like Hi-Fi Rush does have a nice art direction, but all indie games do.
That's true. Indie game Ed, I respect it. Sky.
Yeah.
So can I post links in your chat because I want people to kind of see what I'm talking about. I don't know. I'm like a pleb, so I don't know if it works.
That's a good question.
Well, let's try it. Let's see if I get banned.
You won't get banned, but it's gonna it's gonna star you.
So in the chat, the link I just posted is the Herald of Darkness thing.
Oh,
and this
okay.
kind of leads into what I'm talking about when I say Alan Wake 2 is going to win art direction. Because it seamlessly transitions between live action and really, really polished, well-made CGI cutscenes. It's remarkable. And it's atmospheric heavy. It's got a ton of different like areas that you go through to continue your adventure. Like the way things change based off of lighting is insane. So this isn't really this is art direction. This isn't really art style. So I think those are two totally different things. If we're talking about the direction, like the directing, it's Alan Wake. And if it isn't Alan Wake, then this is a snub category. I'm really passionate about that. Yeah, it has. Anything else, in my opinion, is pandering. It's Alan Wake too.
Also, by the way, I know this isn't part of it, but the Liza P soundtrack is also very, very, very good. So definitely listen to that if you haven't.
Throw it on Spotify, baby, wherever you can get it. Give it a listen.
It's in French, so you
listen, learn French, then. Okay, best narrative: Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Final Fantasy 16, and Spider-Man 2. I don't feel like Cyberpunk should be on here again. It's a DLC. I don't like the idea of DLCs having like as the best narrative for a game. Like something feels weird about it. That might just be me. Like I've heard it's really good, but I'm like, I don't know. I can't describe it. It just gives me that weird feeling of like the best game. I'm like, well, you're adding on to an existing game,
right? Like
sort of thing. Like I don't know if I would give like a Final Fantasy 14 expansion best narrative because it's an expansion. It's not like a new Final Fantasy.
Yeah, but Endwalker was so good.
It was, and I love it. I love it.
Come on.
But in terms of these, I've heard good things about pretty much all of these. I really love the Spider-Man 2 narrative and what they decided to go with it, and like the hardships that the characters face. I'm still gonna go Final Fantasy 16. I think the story and the voice acting was the strongest parts of the game, and that's what I loved most about it. So yeah, I would go Final Fantasy 16. Sky, jump in.
It's Baldur's Gate.
It is, yeah.
It's Baldur's Gate. Nothing comes close to the narrative finesse and quality of Baldur's Gate. And I'm talking not this year, not last year, not the year before. I'm saying in the last maybe 5 to 10 years, there hasn't been a game, in my opinion, written as well as this one.
Oh,
so, yeah.
Listen, y'all know how I feel about 16. I love it. I love it. It's great. And the highs are some of the best in gaming. Like the highs are some of the best in gaming, but the lows, it just felt like fetch quests and that kind of thing. And it kind of threw things off a little bit, you know? And so that narrative wasn't there the whole time. It wasn't always on that high. So like you just fought Bahamut and you just did all this amazing stuff, and then
they're like, listen, can you get me some water from that well? And I'm like, God damn it.
Can you go get me some wood, you know, from the desert? And you're like, sure, I guess. But you never feel like that in Baldur's Gate. You never feel like that. The narrative is always driving you forward. It's always, every character is so well written. The storytelling, God, there were so many twists and turns in that game.
And you twisted them and you turned them.
Oh yeah, I did. And I'm going back again. This will be my 5th playthrough, and I still haven't seen everything.
Yeah, you're still seeing new stuff.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So the storytelling, it's just every single NPC. I didn't want to skip the dialogue. That's how like good the narrative and the storytelling and the atmosphere really is. It's good. It's gonna win.
Ed?
Baldur's Gate 3, I mean.
There we go. That was easy enough.
How doesn't it win this one?
It's true. I'm already going to swap from Final Fantasy to Spider-Man for mine. Kuma already sold me. I was just like, the way you worded it, I was like, Spider-Man never had me like in the lows. And there's definitely moments in 16 where you're like, oh, sweet God, like, please, like, just push me through, baby.
Listen, if it was high the whole time,
if they could have cut 5 hours off that game, and it could have been perceived a lot better than it was, I think. But
it would have definitely been game of the year for sure.
Understandable. Best game direction, awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Tears of the Kingdom. Sky?
I can't. And I know it's going to win awards. I know it will. I just really hope it doesn't win Game of the Year, because if it does, I'm going to like chuck my PC out the window. That's how passionate I am about this. I just really don't like Tears of the Kingdom. But anyways, Baldur's Gate. I'm sorry. And I don't hate Zelda, okay? I love Zelda games. Twilight Princess is one of my favorite games ever.
Oh my God, she's speaking my language. It's right there.
I love Midna, and this is my girl. But I hated these new ones. I can't fucking stand them. I'm sorry for my language. I can't do it.
Hey, listen. Don't you fucking say your truth, okay?
Oh my God. Anyways, Baldur's Gate it's gonna win. Like, again, Alan Wake 2 is also really good, but I think if we're talking just overall quality product and overall directing and direction, it's just like, it's really hard to do anything better than that right now, I think.
Ed?
Baldur's Gate 3, it's such a good game. Like, it's gonna win stuff. It's probably gonna win this unless they pander and give it to someone else.
Ed, I like that you're just very straightforward. It gives my heart joy.
I mean, it's such a good. It blew everything out of the water. It's so popular. They made so much money.
Koopo?
Yeah, it's going to be Baldur's Gate. And I think a lot of this, like with the creative vision and innovation and all that kind of stuff, I think a lot of this goes back to the kind of business model right at the beginning was, we're going to put this in early access. And you guys can tell us, hey, do you like this feature? Do you not like this feature? I remember in early access at the very beginning, when you're on the Illithid ship, there used to be a whole nother section on that ship. Did everybody know that? It was huge.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, it was huge. And they got rid of it. And I mean, I think that's good what they did. That's how they did this creative kind of vision, by letting the community kind of get in on it. You know, it's not closed behind doors. It's like, hey, we're here, look at this, do you like it, do you want us to continue with this? And so I think that's really helped.
They did the same thing with Hades. Like, if you look at early access Hades versus the final product, it is completely different, like shockingly different. I think that, like you're saying, it's the same thing, right? Like, community involvement in these projects. Like, we're not game developers, like we're not writers, we're not audio engineers, but like we have opinions, at least based off of what we've seen and what we've played and what we've experienced, that we can offer to these developers. And I think a lot of developers think they're like high and mighty and they're above consumer opinion and shit. No, I think that's like, we forge games, like we make them what they are. Like, you could be the shittiest company in the world to release this incredible product, but if you're a shitty company, no one's going to play it because you're a shitty company. We have a lot to say. I think early access is huge, and more companies should do that.
Yeah. I will hard agree. Baldur's Gate 3. This is definitely a category I think is just gonna take it. Like, I can't really add on to that. We only have one category left, but before we jump into that, I was gonna ask everybody here if there's any sort of teaser trailers you're looking forward to for the Game Awards, anything, you know, like might be shocking, just something that, you know, we're not really expecting at the Game Awards that you'd be looking forward to. Koopo, I'm gonna jump to you because I can see the excitement.
Going like, oh
yeah.
Elden Ring DLC.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's what I want. If we get that or anything related to Dragon's Dogma, I'll be happy.
Fair.
Did you see the new trailer for Dragon's
Yeah.
Dogma? Yo, I'm
I'm so
hyped.
excited.
That's
Yeah.
insane, dude.
I was gonna say they just put out like, what was it, like a 30-minute video or something like that on Dragon's Dogma. So I don't think they'll show it here because they just like dropped a whole thing for it.
Yeah.
Maybe like a story trailer or something they could do, but
yeah.
Sky, is there anything you're super excited for?
So this is pretty niche, and I know it's not going to happen, but in like my heart of hearts, I hope it does. I really do. People who know me know I'm a huge Devil May Cry fan.
Oh,
Always
okay.
been a huge action game person. They're some of my favorites, and Devil May Cry 5, insane. Like, I think about that game all the time. It's so good. But given that they're doing a whole Netflix show for it next year, and Capcom keeps teasing this like big thing that they have in development that they haven't talked about yet, and that should be coming out soon because it's almost gold, like it's almost finished. I'm hoping it's a Devil May Cry 3 remake. That would be insane. I know it's not going to be because they don't give a shit about that IP right now. It's all Resident Evil remakes and all that stuff, right? So it's probably going to be Resident Evil 5.
Yeah.
Probably. If we have to pick a Capcom IP, it's going to be a Resident Evil game. But I really, like, if I was streaming it and they showed a Devil May Cry 3 trailer, I would have done the whole, like, oh my God, like crazy weirdo TikTok react, because that would have been genuine. Because that would have shocked the shit out of me. Like, I played so much of that game. But I wouldn't have thought about it if it wasn't for the Netflix show. But the fact that they're doing a Netflix show, like, I think it's the perfect time to remake a classic Devil May Cry game. Like, do it. Do it.
Yep, fair. Absolutely.
And also Silk Song for the meme.
Oh, I would hope so.
Yeah.
For the meme.
I would hope so at this point.
Is that ever gonna come out?
Oh my God. Ed, is there anything spicy?
So honestly, you know, we got Jeff Keighley once again hosting the award show, so I'm hoping he brings up his best friend, Kojima.
There it is, baby.
Something about, you know, Death Stranding or, you know,
New IP.
he's working on.
They are working on an Xbox exclusive IP, I believe, and Death Stranding too. So I could honestly either one or the other. I could see 100%. I'm personally, as much as I like poop on Xbox like a lot, some of my favorite IP are Xbox. So I'm hoping they show like a really good Fable trailer, honestly, because the last one I did not like at all.
Yeah.
And if not that, give me that Gears of War 6, baby. It's literally in my GNA. I played every Gears of War. I was like the biggest Gears of War fan, and I fell off at like 4 or 5, somewhere in there, and I was just like, but I got that itch. And I know
We're getting 3. Snake Eater.
Yeah.
we're definitely getting
Excited about that.
We're definitely getting that. Otherwise,
I love Metal Gear. It's so good.
Good.
I'm hoping it's good and it's faithful and it's nice.
Yeah. Elden Ring though.
Elden Ring, baby. It's Bloodborne 2, baby. Wish it into existence.
Oh, Bloodborne for PC. huge too. Let's do
Both. Give us
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, I'll take both.
We need to will PlayStation into existence for Bloodborne 2, because that was one of the... I have not played a lot of Souls games, but Bloodborne is like my favorite one by far that I have played. So Mass Effect Andromeda 2. Let's not.
I would like them to come out and say that it's not going to be 2029, like they said already. Like that'd be cool. I'd be like, hey, we psych, you know. Because I want to think about the fact that I'm going to be almost 40 when that game comes.
It's like, yikes. We're all just like, we're caning it up.
But I have one more prediction.
Yeah, for sure.
I have a feeling, just because Jeff Keighley is kind of cringe like this, and he made a point of mentioning that he's beefing up security this year. I have a feeling they're gonna bring the kid out as like an announcer or something for like an award.
Oh my god!
I know he's gonna do it.
The Bill Clinton kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I was having a stroke. I was like, "Am I like? What is happening?"
I was like, hold up. What is this?
I will put money on that.
Oh my god. Oh, that would be interesting.
Really cringe.
GTA 6. I don't think we see anything.
I thought they said that they're releasing a trailer like tomorrow.
Are they? Is it tomorrow?
Am I wrong for? It's sometime early December. They said. So if it's not like this week, it's going to be at the Game Awards.
I know I think they put a post about something for when it was getting released, and I was like, I think GTA is too big for the Game Awards. I don't think they need it.
Really?
I think Grand Theft Auto is so... Okay, well, okay, thanks, Ed. We're back. They're just like... as somebody who is not a fan of Grand Theft Auto, I prefer Saints Row, which is already like... I know, you flame me. I just... I know. Trust me, I know. GTA 5 is like the biggest game in history, right? Like, it's made the most money. It is by far the biggest, most sales of any individual game. It's insane. Like, when Rockstar drops something, Rockstar is like, we can do whatever we want with it. And it's like, I don't think they need to put it at the Game Awards. Like, it's just... It's kind of like FromSoft is becoming big, but it's like, when you think of like Elden Ring, it's just like, okay, it's Elden Ring, but like GTA 5 is like just like a mammoth. It is just like this entity that has made so much fucking money and is so big that...
It's kind of like Call of Duty, right? It's more like for the kind of, and I hate using this, but like casual gamer. You know what I mean? Who...
the good old casual gamers.
But it's just, like, when you go out and you like walk down the street, name a video game. Oh, Grand Theft Auto.
Call of Duty,
Call of Duty, or something like that. Like, they're huge. You think a game of the year, like Elden Ring, it's still pretty niche, right? I mean, Elden Ring brought more people into the Souls series, but it's still extremely niche. But I kind of agree that the Game Awards is the best publicity.
I think it is.
Yeah. I don't think Rockstar is above that. And you know why I don't think Rockstar is above that? Is because, this is again a controversial opinion, but I've had those all night. I think a lot of, like, when Rockstar was in its peak, they were a big studio, but they haven't done shit in years. And I think a lot of studios out there are kind of coming into their own, and they're releasing crazy titles year after year, and they've built names for themselves. And I don't think you can put any one of them above another at this point. I don't think Rockstar is any better than anyone else just because they've had one legendary release and they're known for a game that they've had an IP for that they haven't put a game out for in years. I don't think they're above Jeff Keighley's Game Awards. Exactly. Like, I don't think they are at this point.
That's fair. I honestly, I'm not a fan of it, but I'd love to see it at the Game Awards as well. I think it's just, that's where everybody gets together as gamers, and it's like, here's probably going to be the biggest release of all time. To be honest, it's going to pull in tens of millions of sales. So,
and this show targets a lot of streamers, and like when Rockstar again was in its peak, streaming wasn't really at the level that it's at now. And for a game show that panders so much to streamers, and for streamers to make up such a core, I guess, division of gamers these days, like everyone streams. Like everyone does it, even if they do it casually. Like
Right.
even if you don't do it all the time, like you've turned your camera on at one point, you've streamed a game to someone, even if it's just been over Discord. You know what I mean? Like that's such a big demographic right now, and it's just getting bigger. Like why wouldn't you show your product to a game award, like a thing specifically designed for streamers? Like
Yeah.
it's a streamer award show.
Micah,
deal.
could you imagine opens with Elden Ring DLC and it ends with GTA 6? You're like, oh my god.
People would be losing it.
And, oh! Exactly. Do we have any other sort of like, I guess I would say things you would like to see happen? Special announcements. Like I would just love. I think they're gonna show Final Fantasy VII Rebirth stuff. I'm sure they're gonna show. They might show like some Tekken 8 stuff. Like they might show like a Dragon. They might show like a story trailer. But is there anything you guys think that hasn't really been announced you would love, apart from obviously the Devil May Cry would be pretty
so
pog. It'd be pretty. I would love that.
Yeah, big fan.
It's a long shot, but I would really like some DLC for God of War.
Oh yeah. Well, of course.
Didn't we talk about that?
Yeah.
I
don't know.
I would love it. I would love that. I'm all in for it.
Playing as Atreus as he's growing up, I think that would be great. It would lead really well into the next game.
Yeah, that'd be.
Plus, it's an amazing game anyway.
It is. Absolutely loved it. Yeah, Sony first party doesn't miss often. I don't think so.
Doesn't. Hasn't in a while.
Any DLC for like first party Sony, I'm all for. Spider-Man 2 DLC, probably not announced, but I think they're probably working on it, sort of things. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm generally always excited every year for the Game Awards.
It's gonna be cool.
I would like to see some more on Metal Gear Solid 3 remake.
Hell yeah.
Give us some gameplay, and then I'll be excited for it.
Absolutely. With that being said, we have one category left. Game of the Year. Recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and Tears of the Kingdom. Who wants to dive in? You know what? I'm going to let Ed go. Ed, a man of many words. I want to hear your thoughts.
Okay, so I think between the two, it's going to come down to either Tears of the Kingdom or Baldur's Gate 3. And I always say Tears of the Kingdom because I see the technical fields, and I feel like this is the only thing it would win otherwise. But at the same time, Baldur's Gate is just so dominant because there's so much you can do in that game. There's so many mechanics, so many things happening technically. It does have an in-game physics engine, and you can't build mechs or Gundams like you can in Tears of the Kingdom, but still, I'm going to say Baldur's Gate 3.
Absolutely. Skye?
Like I said, you're right about Tears of the Kingdom being technically impressive. Like, the physics is crazy. Like, people were doing stuff that the developers didn't even know you could do. Like, the TikToks were nuts.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I acknowledge that the glove is crazy. I do. But like, how can Baldur's Gate not win? Like, it's not gonna not win. Like, and if it doesn't win, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna like. I can go on about it forever, but I won't. It's just really like Baldur's Gate. Like,
I don't think the glove was enough in Zelda to really set it apart from Breath of the Wild. So Baldur's Gate all the way. It's just it is a phenomenon that happens once every couple of years, right? And it's just too good. It's too good. Everything about that game, you can tell they had that D&D money, and they used it wisely, and it's perfect in every way. 10 out of 10.
Okay, well, it's first of all, I'm seeing the chat say bear sex, and only one of the games on this list you can have sex with a bear, and that's got to be worth something. I will say my game of the year was actually not even on this list, and it wasn't Final Fantasy 16, but it was Final Fantasy Final Barline, and it makes me kind of sad that there's no like rhythm game or like there's no category that fits in that it would even get a nomination. And when I think of like the game I had the most fun with this year was just playing through all the Final Fantasy music. Like it was. So I wanted to give a quick shout out to that game because it got literally no love, and it had like an 88 or an 89 or something on Metacritic. Like overall beloved game, but just got no love anywhere. I personally think Final Fantasy 16 should have taken Resident Evil 4 slot on this list. Just we went over it, but the highs in that game, I have not felt the highs of like when that game hits. I haven't felt like that in literally years. Like I can't remember the last time. Maybe God of War 2018, I think was the last time I felt that in a game. Yeah. So shout outs to that. Otherwise, I don't think it's a question. I think Baldur's Gate 3. As much as I'm not a D&D fan, I think it's very obvious how good of a game this is without even being a fan of the genre. I've seen enough that I'm like, this is an unbelievable product, and the studio clearly loves what they do. And I can't really say anything bad about the game. It's just everything I've seen it's fantastic. So
it's stellar.
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate 3, baby.
Shadow, we gotta get you into a D&D game. I think you'd really like it.
God damn it. It may happen. Yeah. We may be able to make something happen then.
I play it every Sunday.
Hey! Let's go. Okay,
so,
well, do it. Okay, I'm sure my chat would love me having to jump into D&D.
Let's get a DM. Let's fucking play. We'll do this format. This would be so much fun. Let's go.
Oh, Lord. Okay, well, thank you guys for joining me. Just under 2 hours. I appreciate all three of you being here and hanging out and giving your thoughts and analysis. Koopo, where can the friends find you?
Twitch, KoopoMog, or you can go to YouTube. It's KoopoMog TV over on YouTube.
Perfect.
Or Instagram, KoopoMog.
Nice.
KoopoMog everywhere.
Check him out. He's one of our favorite Moogles. My God.
Thank you.
Sky?
LuminiousSkye on Twitch and Instagram, LuminiousSkye, Twitter, LuminiousSkye TTV.
Perfect. Ed, do you want people to follow you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at EdWearsTightPants, and that's
Hell
it.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Thanks, Ed.
Big
and
fan.
You guys know where to follow me. Twitch.tv/ShadowWalsh. You're here. I mean, I would hope so. Otherwise, on X, same thing, ShadowWalshTTV. And yeah, just thank y'all for being here. It's been super fun.
It's fun.
It's not X, it's Twitter.
Okay. I was gonna say, did you just call it X? Like what?
Listen.
He's the only one I know who does that.
Listen. Okay, settle. Let's not go into attacking me right here at the end. But yeah, it's been great. Okay, so listen. All right. I will be live streaming the Game Awards on my channel. Some of these other lovely people might be streaming it as well, but definitely check them out. We're all amazing people, and I appreciate everybody being here.
It was a good time. Thanks for hosting.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
The first annual Game Awards Shadow podcast because it will be happening next year. Announcing it now. Get your seats, buy your tickets.
Yeah.
Make sure you come on in, get nice and close, get the popcorn, feeling good. And yeah, we'll be doing this next year. Otherwise, Game Awards on Thursday, whether you're watching it here or somewhere else, check it out because it's always a fun time, and you can always make fun of the cringe. So that's my favorite part.
Yeah.
That's the best part. Also, hopefully it's not as long as last year's. That was brutal.
Sweet God. It's going to be a long boy. She said it. It's like, all right, here we go. 4 hours.
Yeah.
Oh.
Damn. Anyways, thanks,
Alright.
guys.
Yeah, thank you.
It's been fun. And I will see you guys next time. Yeet.
Bye.